Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be discussing on the right way to set up SSO with the ADFS. I'll be going through the entire flow required to configure the SSO in both AD and ServiceNow. ServiceNow uses SAML as a standard for exchanging authentication information. The first step involved is to get the metadata URL or its XML from your ADFS. The metadata contains information regarding your federation service, including the standard X509 certificate. I am now in a Windows server which is hosting an AD server. Let's now go to the ADFS management and try to access the metadata URL. For this, I would go to Tools, I would open the ADFS management, and within ADFS management, I'll go under the service and I can access the endpoints here. If you navigate through the endpoints, you can see one endpoint related to federation metadata. This is the URL associated with your ADFS metadata, and I can directly access this metadata XML in my web browser. The base URL for your metadata can be found under the federation service properties. For this, go to the service folder, click on edit federation service properties. You could see that this is your base URL for your federation service, which is windows.adserver.com. Generally, your AD admin would be providing you with either the metadata URL or the XML file. This is the point where a ServiceNow developer starts configuring your SSO. Let's now try to download this XML file. I'll go to my web browser and I'll paste the URL. You can see I've pasted the base URL for my federation service, then the endpoint for my XML data. I click on it. You can see that an XML file is downloaded. Let's now see the content for this. If I open this file on a web browser, you can see the related information is an XML. You can also see the certificate associated with it, which gets imported into our instance. We will now configure the SSO with this metadata XML file. I'll go back to my ServiceNow instance. Before starting with the configuration, you need to ensure that the multi-installer plugin is activated. So for that, I would go to my plugin list. I need to activate the integration multiple provider single sign-on installer plugin. Once you activate this plugin, you will be able to see the multi-provider SSO application within your navigation. The first thing you should do is to enable the multi-provider SSO. For this, go to the properties and make sure you check the enable multi-provider SSO checkbox. Once you have enabled this option, you should be creating an identity provider with the XML data. For this, go to your identity provider, click on new. We will be using SAML to set up this connection with ADFS. So, I will select SAML. You would be getting two options to import your metadata XML. First is the URL, second is the XML. I would prefer to enter the XML details. So, I would select XML option, and now I need to paste my XML data of the federation service. So, for this I would go and open that file, copy its content and paste it in ServiceNow. So, let's open this in Notepad. So, I get the pure XML content of it. So, this is the XML text and I copy it, come back to my instance, I paste it here and then I would click on import. This would be importing all the details of the federation service from AD into my identity provider. Let's try to understand few of these attributes of the identity provider. First one is a name. Let's give it a valid name. So, I will name it as ADFS. The next attribute is the identity provider URL, which is your federation service URL. The next two attributes, which is the authentication request and your single logout request, this handles the authentication and logout respectively at the AD side, and then you have some of the details related to your ServiceNow instance. Going further down, You can see the X509 certificates which were imported from the metadata. Any information sent from the AD server are signed using these certificates, and once those information reach ServiceNow, ServiceNow uses these certificates to decrypt those information. These certificates has an expiry date. Upon expiry, the authentication would stop working. You would need to contact your AD admin before this expiry date so you could renew these certificates. The certificate module also provides an out-of-the-box feature to notify users before its expiry. Coming to the encryption and signing session, you have an option to sign your authentication and logout request. By default, ServiceNow uses a Java key store that signs using a RSA SHA-1 algorithm. If you go to the certificates module within your navigation, you could see our default key store, the SAML 2.0 SP key store, which is the default setting for SHA-1 algorithm. If you want to change your key store, there is a system property where you need to update the sys-ID of the specific certificate, which is SHA-256, and you also need to update your algorithm URL here. In order to sign your authentication or logout request, SAML requires a key alias and password for your key store. The default alias is SAML2SP. The password is also same, SAML2SP. This would be used to access the key store. Let's proceed with the default SHA-1 signing algorithm. Going on to the advanced tab, we have a specific field called as a user field here. This corresponds to a column name in the sysuser table of ServiceNow. Upon successful authentication from AD, it returns certain information in the SAML response. If the email address of user is present in the response, ServiceNow searches for a matching user profile and redirect user to it. Before setting this attribute, you need to discuss this with your AD admin so that he could configure his SSO setting to send the email address back to the SAML response. One of the most common mistakes that we do is in setting up the logout request. Upon successful logout, ServiceNow redirects user to the single logout request URL, which is specified here. But this does not clear the user session. SAML requires us to sign the logout request with its certificate to properly log out a user session from ADFS. Without this, the user would remain authenticated and logout functionality never works as expected. Signing the authentication request is not mandatory, but signing the logout request is. For now, let's check both of this. Once we check this information, whenever a request is created for authentication or logout, the SAML request would be signed by the certificate using the Java key store. Let's now save this information. You can now see a message at the top. It says that we should regenerate the metadata. Since we have signed the IDP, we need to regenerate the metadata. For this, I would click on the generate metadata button here. This would be generating a metadata which I would be sending to my AD administrator. Within this metadata, you could see a certificate here which is generated using the Java key store using the SHA-1 algorithm. What you can do is you can copy this content, copy the entire XML, paste it in a notepad. So I go to my notepad file here, I click on file, open a new notepad, I'll save it, then I'll save it as an XML file. So this is our ServiceNow ADFS metadata, and I would save it as an XML file. Need to select the type as all file and save it to my desktop here. Whenever authentication or logout request is sent to AD from ServiceNow, this key would be passed along with it, and this key would be used by AD to make sure that the request is coming from ServiceNow. It adds a layer of security in the process. I will send this XML file to the AD admin who will be using it to set up a relying party for ServiceNow on the ADFS. We have now reached halfway through the setup. In our next video, we will see how an AD admin would use the metadata to set up a relying party for ServiceNow, how he would ensure that the email address of user is added back to the SAML response. We would be testing the authentication and logout with AD, and we would also see how we could debug any issues with the SSO in ServiceNow. Thank you for watching.